What do you do when the path disappears? We spend our lives following a plan. Go here, do this, be that. But sometimes the fog rolls in, the map stops making sense, and we panic. We feel like we have failed. But have you ever considered that feeling lost is not a sign that you have gone off the path? What if feeling lost is simply the sign that you are discovering a new one? This was the terror gripping a young woman named Elara. She was running through a place known as the Forest of Shadows, her breath coming in ragged gasps. In her hands, she clutched a worn, brittle map, its creases deep as canyons. For years, this map had been her guide, her promise of a destination she had always dreamed of, the legendary Golden City, a place of purpose, success, and belonging. It was her career, her life goal, the very definition of her identity. But something had gone terribly wrong. The ancient, gnarled trees of the forest no longer matched the elegant lines drawn on her parchment. The clear, straight road marked on the map had dissolved into a tangle of thorny vines and deceptive game trails. The landmarks she was told to look for, the Crystal River, the Whispering Stone, were nowhere to be found. She was running in circles, recognizing the same twisted oak tree for the third time, its branches like skeletal fingers mocking her confusion. Tears streamed down her face, hot with frustration and fear. She stopped, screaming at the useless paper in her hands. "Show me the way," she cried, her voice swallowed by the vast, indifferent woods. "Why won't you work?" She felt a deep, hollowing sense of failure. She had followed every instruction, taken every prescribed turn, and yet here she was, utterly and completely adrift. In her mind, the equation was simple and devastating. To be lost was to be broken. To be without a clear destination was to be worthless. Exhausted, her spirit as frayed as the edges of her map, Elara finally stumbled out of the dense undergrowth and into a small, quiet clearing. In the center, a gentle campfire flickered, casting a warm orange glow against the deepening twilight. And beside the fire, wrapped in a simple dark cloak, sat an old man. He wasn't huddled or anxious. He was perfectly still, his head tilted back, gazing up at the first stars beginning to pepper the night sky. He wasn't lost, he was simply present. He was watching. Seeing another person, Elara's panic surged anew. Hope and desperation propelled her forward. She ran toward the fire, waving the crumpled map like a surrender flag. "Help me," she pleaded, her voice cracking. "Please, you have to help me. I am lost. My map is broken." The old man, whose name was Orion, slowly lowered his gaze from the heavens and looked at her. His eyes were calm, like deep pools of water. He took the map she thrust at him and studied it for a long moment under the firelight. Then he gently folded it and handed it back. "The map is not broken, child," he said, his voice soft but clear. "But it is a map of where you were, not where you are." Elara stared at him, bewildered. His words made no sense. But this is the path to the Golden City," she stammered. "It's the only path. If it's wrong, then how do I get out of here? Which way do I go? I need to move. I need to run." The thought of staying still felt like admitting defeat. Orion shook his head slowly. "If you run while you are lost," he said, "you only get lost faster." He saw the frantic confusion in her eyes, the desperate need for a solid instruction, a new line to follow. He raised a hand, not toward any path on the ground, but toward the sky. He pointed to a single, bright star that shone with a steady, unwavering light high in the north. "You are obsessed with the map," he continued. The map is a wonderful tool. It is the plan given to you by others. It is the known world. But the terrain changes. The world changes. You change. When the map no longer reflects the ground beneath your feet, you must put it away and switch to the compass. Elara looked from the useless map in her hands to the distant star. A compass. That star, Orion said, is your compass. It doesn't give you a detailed path. It doesn't tell you which tree to turn at or which river to cross. It only gives you a direction, a true north. You have been looking at your feet, at the paper, demanding the world conform to your old plan. The universe is not punishing you. Being lost is not a mistake. It is a pause. It is a message. It is the world telling you, gently, that the old way is finished. The story you were following has ended. Now, you get to write a new one. He leaned forward, his expression kind. Stop looking at your feet. Stop shouting at the map. Look at the stars. Look inside. Not the part of you that wants to please your parents. Not the part that is afraid of being left behind. Not the part that is clinging to the idea of the golden city because you were told it was valuable. Where do you, the real you, want to go? To find your way, you must first have the courage to admit that you do not know where you are, and you must be willing to sit in that not knowing for a while. As his words settled in the quiet clearing, something shifted inside Elara. It felt like a bolt of lightning, but silent and slow. The frantic energy that had been driving her for hours, for days, maybe even for years, finally drained away. She looked down at the map, at its rigid lines and outdated promises. She realized she wasn't lost because the path had vanished. She was lost because she was trying to force her old life onto a new reality. She had been trying to fit the vast, living forest into a tiny, fragile box. Slowly, her fingers uncurled. The map fell from her grasp, landing softly on the forest floor by the fire. She didn't try to pick it up. Instead, she sank to the ground and sat, truly sat, for the first time. She looked into the flames, feeling their warmth seep into her bones, chasing away the chill of her panic. The silence of the woods was no longer threatening. It was peaceful. She didn't know the way to the Golden City anymore. She didn't know what tomorrow would look like. She didn't know her destination, and she realized that while not knowing was scary, it was also freedom. Morning came, painting the sky in shades of rose and gold. The fire had dwindled to glowing embers. Elara awoke, not with a jolt of anxiety, but with a sense of quiet clarity. Orion was gone. On the ground lay her old map, covered in morning dew. She looked at it, then looked away. She did not pick it up. She left it there, a relic of a journey that was over. Standing up, she turned her face to the rising sun in the east. It felt warm. It felt right. She didn't know exactly where she was going, but for the first time, she felt she was headed in the right direction. She chose a way that felt like her own, and she began to walk, not running, not rushing, slowly, with purpose, with each step a discovery. She was still in the forest, surrounded by the unknown, but she was no longer lost because she was finally following her own internal light. The moral is that feeling lost is often a necessary stage of growth, signaling that our old maps no longer fit our new reality. Instead of panicking or rushing to find a way out, we must learn to pause, trust our internal compass, and accept that the right path will reveal itself one step at a time.